Oh, yeah. Another NBA happy hour from the boys at No Dunks. Happy Thursday night to everyone. I just saw this comment and it made me laugh, and I'm going to read it right away. If young boys can't handle a bit of heckling at the rink, they should stick to tiddlywinks and PlayStation.
Oh,
what a throwback.
So good.
Yeah, good comment, Chad. Way to remind us of that fantastic drop. What's up? I'm Skeets. We got JD pushing the buttons, making the magic happen. We got TK keeping it super casual. And oh my God, he's never here at the beginning. Must be a special night of NBA happy hour.
Whoa, baby.
It's the Aussie. What's up, mate?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey man, how's it going?
Dude.
How you doing, Lily?
Not bad, not bad. How are you guys?
You sound flustered, if I'm being honest. What's going on?
Oh, well, I'm just coordinating here with Big Matt to try to get him on board. And
Matty O's coming back.
No, not big. No, that was Little Matt. This is Big Matt.
Little Matt. Okay.
Yeah. So
Big Matt is your longtime friend. You met him in England. You traveled the globe and watched cricket matches, threw some hand ice at each other. And he lives in Manchester, you said.
Manchester, England. Yes.
So super convenient for him to jump on the late night NBA happy hour. What's it like 3 a.m. there?
Nearly 3 a.m. Yeah. He's probably used to this a little bit when he would get up for watching like the grand final. You know how we do that, Skeetsy?
Yep.
Like when you're in London, in England, it's like 5:30 in the morning, and you would always get up for that weekend. So this would be just like that for him.
Is Big Matt Australian or is he?
Yeah, he's from Queensland. Yeah.
Oh,
so I didn't know him in Australia. I only met him in England.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get to Big Matt when we get to Big Matt. We're a little worried Big Matt doesn't own headphones.
We're about to find out.
Why do none of our friends own headphones that plug into their computer? Last week it was my buddy Grish. He was scrambling at the last minute to get a pair. He finally did from his neighbor. And now you're worried Big Matt doesn't have any. What's going on?
Yeah, well,
it's a little weird.
Yeah,
anyway, we'll grill him when he gets on.
Maybe in our world though, we just think that there are a dime a dozen headphones and earbuds, but maybe they're not like that for everybody. Who knows?
I don't know. Like, so over the last year, you're probably doing a lot of Zooms and stuff. Like, I guess that's the thing. You don't technically need them, right, JD? I mean, it sure helps with the slap back and the feedback and all that, but
yeah, exactly.
You can get by without them.
Need them, but it's a nice to have, and it's just weird that an adult person in 2021 doesn't own a pair of headphones. I mean, it's just sort of. I mean, everybody has a smartphone that comes with a set of headphones now.
Yeah,
that's
the
true.
The plug is different though.
Hey.
On an iPhone, from like a new iPhone, the plug is different to the standard circle you plug in.
No, you're talking about Big Plugger. We're talking about Big Matt.
Oh, right. Yeah. My bad.
You got excited there for a second, Lily. What were you gonna say?
Well, breaking news. Big Matt is here, and he's got headphones. And he's got
headphones.
Look at him! Wow!
Hey.
On him.
What's up, Big Matt?
Stole him off the 8-year-old this afternoon. The pressure was on, so
Well done. I mean, they're working all right. You can hear us okay. You look great, man.
Cheers, guys. How we doing?
Fantastic. We've never met Big Matt. I'm obviously talking for JD, Trey, and myself. You obviously know Lily, but it's nice to finally meet you. We've heard so much about you. We've seen so many weird old photos of you.
It sounds like I've got a massive delay here, guys. I can
other side of the pond. It could be an issue. We'll power through.
Okay. We'll get there eventually.
Yeah, Leigh. I mean, you haven't talked to. Do you guys talk a lot, Leigh, or is this
not that often?
Rare?
No. But the last time I saw Matt was about 18 months or so ago when we were in England. We caught up in London with the families. We got together, and I think Matt, you dropped about £6,000 in at Legoland in London. There, didn't you? At Leicester Square. It was the boys coming down for a bit of a big trip. Was that their first time in London?
That was their first time in London, and they absolutely loved it, and not just because of the Lego and the sights, and we saw everything. It was because they loved connecting with people from you know what your kids are like. What were you like back in the day, Dad? Can I meet some of your friends? And I'm pretty happy to say they didn't go away disappointedly. So, they did all right.
How old are your kids, Matt?
Oscar's 12, and Alfie's just turned 9 2 days ago. So.
Oh, nice! So happy baby. You both have children named Oscar. Was this planned back in the day, guys?
Well, that's the thing. Matt's Oscar is such an upstanding citizen. I thought I've got to name one of my kids after Oscar there too. So yeah, it's funny actually. When I was there in London, I seemed to notice quite a few other kids being called Oscar. Is it a pretty like fancy name these days in England?
Oh, man, technology,
Yeah.
It's working over here, but it's got to go across that water. Those satellites got to work extra hard. I believe he's muted right now.
Yeah, he's muted.
That could be an issue too. It's all right. We can always bring him. We can take him out and bring him back if we have to. We can continue. I mean, he's staying up so late at night. I feel so bad it's not working flawlessly here. What have you done to him, Leigh? You made him take the day off work, for crying out loud. And then we're going to talk to him for like 3 minutes.
I know. Oh, there he is. He's back. He's back.
Can you hear us okay, Matt? I know there's a delay.
Look, I can hear you guys, but it's like 300 voices at once.
Oh boy.
I mean, I talk fast as it is too, so that's never going to be a good thing. I guess, Leigh, your question was, are there a lot of people named Oscar in England? Is that a popular name?
Kid's name? Yeah.
I only once I named ours, that set the precedent, and then laid the mark down, and then I'm thinking of changing it now.
You get a little too mainstream. I get it.
Too many Oscars. Well, Leigh, you ask him the questions, mate. You haven't,
Matt,
so long.
First of all, I've got a little something here to celebrate the occasion of you coming on board. This is this is the Mount Gay rum, because the first trip you and I went on with Big Trig was down to Barbados, 2003. You remember that one?
I remember it very fondly, Leroy. I think I said in the comments on that Instagram post, I've been to Barbados 3 times. First time with you and Trig to watch the Aussies play the West Indies. The second time I went and got engaged. The third time I got married. That first time holds very special memories.
Hold on. Leigh, was this rum? Is this rum that you bought when you were down there and you saved it?
No. I just went over to the booze shop over the road, and there's not a lot of Mount Gay they're moving over there, but they had some, and I thought, what a special treat this is to have Big Matt on, and this is what we drank plenty of there. When we went down there, and in fact, I remember because I arrived, I think, a day after you and Trig, and as I turned up at the hotel, I was checking in, and I just heard you go, "Yeah, Leroy, we're over here." And you were full of beans and full of energy, and Trigger was asleep at the bar.
Full of beans.
It is bean week.
Already gone. It was the funniest hotel, that place. Do you remember it? I remember one morning sitting down having breakfast, and the lady came over and sniffed my hair because she liked my hair gel. And you were like, "That's it, fella. That's it. You're away here now. You're away here." Just giving me the full nudge at the breakfast table. I'll leave this off.
Yeah, well, that was a pretty good first night that we had out there, because once we woke Trigger up,
one of the bizarrest nights. I remember because I saw the Instagram post and the durag came in pretty early, guys, and honestly, it went everywhere. It went deep sea fishing. It went. It was underwater. It hit the reefs. It was everywhere. It wasn't just a photo op. He had it on for a week and a half. No, not a word of a lie. And the first night we got there was some sort of outdoor festival going on, wasn't there? And all I can remember is, all right, let's go down, enjoy the vibe, and first time in, meet some Bajans and get a bit of local culture. And the headline act was the cutting crew. Remember, I just died in your arms tonight.
Oh, nice!
And I know. It was absolutely with Leigh in a durag. It was just one of those, moments. Just absolutely bonkers.
I think.
Send us the picture, Leigh. Come on.
Yeah,
What are
you
you
gotta
waiting
have the
for?
picture.
What of me and the durag? Don't you have that one, JD, already?
No, I don't have it
He
hanging.
doesn't keep them handy like you, Leigh.
It's like the extra pictures of beans on your phone. I delete them immediately.
He's looking for his phone now. He's up
He's
here.
gotta
for the
guess-
disc.
gotta
Don't worry
guess
about it.
all of
I'll
them.
go and get my phone. Hang on a sec.
Oh my goodness! My goodness.
All right, so Matt, you call Leigh Leroy, and I heard him instantly refer to himself as Leroy as well. Is that his go-to name amongst y'all?
Yeah. That Leroy is that is his go. It's pretty much that's what he's in all the devices. It's just Leroy, constantly Leroy. Whether that was self-styled or was it?
No, I don't think so. No, I mean I had that.
You
Oh, sure.
Yeah, right.
I had that most of that through high school and stuff. So
Well, I was wondering if you're only Leroy when you're wearing a do-rag, and then you're Leigh or Leigh when you're doing this.
man.
Okay, he's looking for the photo.
I'm looking for it now.
How many days were you guys in Barbados, Leigh?
Was it
Like
was
just,
it 10 days? I think?
Oh my God!
Well, yeah,
10
I
days in a do-rag with Leroy. My goodness.
I think because you guys obviously flew in from Manchester and I went in from London. I think I was actually supposed to leave a day before, and I've told the guys the story about this. My flight got cancelled because there was tropical winds or something like that in the Caribbean, and so they basically said, we'll put you up in a hotel, or you can just stay with your friends for a night. That'd be better for us, So I went and stayed with you and Trigger for another night, and then I flew back the next day on just a no-name airplane that didn't even have any. It wasn't like a British Airways or British West Indian Airlines. It was just like literally a white plane with nothing on it, and they were just shipping us all back to London. So I think I was there, like I must have been there 10 days or so, and you guys were probably there, I guess 11 or 12 in the end, in total. You and Trig sharing a hotel room together for 12 days. That must have been fun for you too, Matt.
Especially when we walked in the first day, Leigh, and there was a double bed instead of the twins, mate. It was almost like feet do your stuff.
So where does Big Trigger? I can never keep him track. Plugger, no Trigger. Where does Trigger live, Leigh?
He lives at the moment. He lives about 20 minutes drive from me. He lives in Manchester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We neither of, well, obviously Leigh and Andy knew each other. Trig knew each other in from sunny Sunbury.
Yeah.
But
gotcha.
I met Andrew in London, like on the third or fourth day I'd arrived in London.
Oh, wow.
I actually live in a town in between Manchester and Liverpool, where if the world was to have a cultural enema, this is where they'd stick the tube. So for sort of all my sins, because I grew up on the Gold Coast, but originally from Victoria, as Leigh and Andy were originally.
Gotcha.
But, yeah. Andy sort of followed me around the world. Trig sort of followed me, so because we were in London together, and then I was ready to head back to Australia, and she walked through the door, and that was it. And she was a local lass. So I'm halfway between Manchester and Liverpool.
Gotcha. So similar story to you, sort of, Leigh, keeping you obviously in Canada with Roxy, and Matt was doing the same, keeping them in England with the ladies.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Home is where the boobs are, boys.
There you go. Okay. I've never heard that one, but
put it on a needle point.
Yeah.
So did a woman keep Triggs there then too, or he's just
yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
she's Trigger met her in London, but she's from Halifax, isn't she, Matt? I think.
Yeah, she is. She's a Yorkshire lass.
Yeah, yeah. So I always get this question asked about me. The biggest sort of difference about living in Atlanta versus Australia or Melbourne. What about in Manchester and we're up in that area? What's it been like for you?
Oh, look, generally the Poms are a bit strange, aren't they? Honestly, I think humour-wise, there's a lot of parallels between the Aussies and the Brits. There is a lot of similarities that way, but they love to moan. honestly, they'd whinge if they won the lottery. You know, there'd be something wrong with it. You know, it was on the wrong day or something. It's just, but they'll find a point to pick about anything. But that's part of the charm as well. You know, they're a funny lot, and you know, they never cease to amaze me when it comes to sort of the decision makings for their own future over the EU and who governs them. And I think it's one of those things. They've got that much tradition and that much history that it's hard for them to break away from it, to be like their independent country, and they show it in funny ways. But look, I slag them, and like I say, St Helens is a cultural void, but it's one of those proper working class towns. It's all about the mine. Was the mines that Thatcher shut the last mines, and it's but it's still Northern Europe's biggest glass making. That's what it's known for, and its rugby league team. But you know, you meet some absolute characters in this place. I'll tell you. You know, yeah.
So I know, Matt, that Leigh said it's super late where you are. So thank you so much for joining us. This is a lot of fun. That you took the day off work. So what is it that you do? That you're not working in the mines, I guess?
No. I work in the hotel industry, but on the pre-build side of things. So when a new brand comes to market and they want to bring a new product into the market, anything that the builders won't do, like the main contractors won't do, as far as the furniture, all the interior elements of the building, we bring all that together and supply to the brands and the franchisees.
Gotcha.
So,
gotcha. How long have you been doing that then?
I've been in the interiors industry in the UK pretty much since I got here. It's something I fell into. Oh, wow. And it's enjoyable. So it was something I did in London. I was in the supermarket industry back in Australia, and took a 12-month sabbatical 20 years ago. So I still like to think they're still waiting. And I'll jump through the door. And,
let us know when you're back.
Yeah, good. Get the job open for you, mate. Yeah. So, but yeah, look, it's you know, it's pretty much, you know, you're going through it as well as what we're going through at the moment is you know, we've just been constantly locked down and full lockdown. You know, we've not set foot in the office for 12 months, you know. Wow. And it is getting tough now. Everyone's getting pretty much to the end of the tether. I mean, I love my kids, but I don't want to see them every day. You know, let's be honest. I do, but you know, not 8 hours, not 24 hours. Yeah. They actually go back to school. There
it is.
Line up.
Oh my God, that is a tough album cover right there. I got honest. Put the parental advisory in the corner of that. Sell the CD. Wow. Yeah. You said, Matt, you said you worked in the supermarket industry back in Australia. Did you know Con the Fruiterer?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, it's those stereotypes that make it so funny, you know, because you know, especially Leigh will know, in Melbourne, I think Melbourne is the second biggest Greek city population wise behind Athens.
I think so, yeah.
You know, everyone that sold a piece of fruit in Australia was Greek. You know, it was mad, wasn't it?
And so Con the Fruiterer was, for those that have no idea who I'm talking about, because I barely know who I'm talking about.
I can't believe you just pulled the name.
Yeah, it was I assume it was an Australian guy, right, doing the character Leigh. Is that right, for some television show? Is that what
it was like a weekly comedy show.
Yeah.
And they would, every now and again, they would just have a character that just hit it off with the fans, and so they would bring that guy back every week. And Con, I don't know, there was one guy who had his own sort of like spin-off TV show. I'm not sure if it was him or not, but he was like, he became famous for that character. I think his name was Mark
Mitchell, was it?
Yeah, I think it was Mark Mitchell, yeah. And he became
sorry, Ray, was it on the same show that Eric Bana made it big?
Well,
he was Poiter, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think that was on Channel 7, and Channel 10 was the comedy company. I think that's what...
we got the Australian TV guide going.
And Eric Bana was like, did this character called Poiter, who was a bogan. I don't know, what do they call a bogan in the States, like a redneck or... Yeah. Or a chav over here.
Yeah.
And and then he just went on to megastardom, Spielberg films and
So this was Bana doing
He was
this
a whole-
character before Chopper. I
yeah.
assume, right? Oh, there you go.
That's where he broke out from. Yeah, Porter, his name was.
And it was just just an over the top stereotype of just that just the redneck who's never left his hometown,
But he was a
drinking beer.
redneck in Australia. Like
Yeah,
he
a bogan.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Takes the esky everywhere,
Yeah.
And now he's super popular. I mean, he was super popular. I guess he sort of disappeared.
He's sort of gone off the radar a bit now.
Yeah, he hulked out, and then that was sort of it, right?
The smash to start.
Well, we were talking about Chopper just the other week, and like that was 20 years ago, and I mean that was, I don't know if that was his biggest international role. I guess probably Hulk or the Bolin, the other Bolin girl, or what was that one?
And Munich, that Spielberg film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that was good.
Yeah. And didn't he also do a big historical epic with Ridley Scott as well? I think it was
Probably.
like Troy or one of those.
Oh yeah. Where was he from then? In Australia?
Troy, exactly right.
Yeah, he was in Melbourne, wasn't he?
Oh, was he?
Yeah, that's him. That's
his
Porter.
daughter
That's his character. Wow.
with the mullet.
What's on his shirt? Is that Megadeth?
Megadeth.
Yeah.
So he's like a metalhead.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't make too much fun of him, and with the hair at the moment.
I was going to say, you look like him.
Yeah.
And you said you were a big Megadeth fan, I thought.
No,
I've seen you
Metallica.
wearing
Oh,
band.
Metallica, yeah.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, there you go. Nice. You have a Metallica shirt, Lee, growing up?
Yes, I did. I had
Nice.
Justice for All, and I think Master of Puppets too.
Yeah.
I think those were the cool ones. I didn't have their albums, but I had their T-shirts.
Nice. Very cool.
I was a bit sooner than you. It was all about the Kiss shoulder bag for me.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Are you, I mean, Lee always talks, Matt, about all the concerts he's been to. Did you attend a lot of these shows with Lee, or are you a big music person?
It's strange. It's strange in Australia because of the diversity of the population. The way bands made it big, and I don't know whether Lee saw the news. You see, this week Michael Gudinski died. Lee. Yeah, and he started Mushroom Records in Australia. So the way bands got their foothold in Australia was just gigging constantly, and it built up this great pub rock scene.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were kids, we didn't go to nightclubs. We just went to gigs Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. Live music was just what it was all about. And we didn't get the big tours until Gudinski came along and lured some of the big acts over. So you'd go and see the likes of Nirvana at places like we had a legendary venue on the Gold Coast called Fisherman's Wharf, and it was an open venue.
Mm-hmm.
And double headline acts there would be like Nirvana and Violent Femmes with like 2,000 people,
Wow.
and that was, Gudinski was bringing them over and just trying to promote Australia in the late 80s and early 90s as a potential touring venue. And it was great. I loved it.
That was awesome, yeah.
My brother Tim, he actually found Michael Gudinski's wallet in a taxi one night. Seriously. Yeah.
That is the best humble brag I've ever heard. My brother, Tim.
And so I don't know exactly. I mean, I guess he looked and found his driver's license or a credit card and said, Michael Gudinski. He's like, wow. So he called a number. There was a number in there. And someone came around and picked it up. I think he gave him like $500 as a reward. Yeah, because he's probably had a lot of credit cards and stuff in there. This was in the 90s, so he was a big dude, Michael Gudinski.
Michael Gudinski.
Yeah, he wasn't sick either, as far as I know. Like he was
died in his sleep. He was, But I imagine
he must have been old, right? I mean, how old was the guy?
Probably 65. I suppose.
65, but I think there would have been some indulgence as the biggest music promoter in Australia. There would have been some good nights out in there, wouldn't there? It wouldn't have been home for a cup of tea and a digestive and into bed at 8.
Yeah, fair enough. Though, I mean, for some people, that's like their spinach, right? I mean, look at Jagger and stuff like that. It's it actually fuels them somehow, but I guess not.
More Keith Richard. It's pickled him, hasn't it? It's just kept him like
Preserves
that,
him.
like formaldehyde.
So, what's your favorite show you've ever been to, Matt?
Oh, back in the days, and one of the first headline act that Gadinsky brought out was Springsteen on the Born in the USA tour, and I must have been like 15 or 16, and it was he played actually at a stadium called Lang Park in Brisbane, where it was a rugby stadium. I think it's called Suncorp Stadium now, and it was the biggest show Springsteen had done at that stage, and it was just electric for like a 16-year-old kid seeing it. But I think some of my favourite memories, and I don't think Leigh you didn't join us, but Andy and I, Trig and I, and a few of other mates loved going to the European festivals. So Glastonbury, we've been to Roskilde a couple of times, which is it's Europe's second biggest music festival. That's actually where I went for my stag do, and so it's in Denmark, and the Danish are pretty laid back. It's great vibe, but bizarre lineups. So it's the Scandies love their heavy metal, and so you'd get like say Guns N' Roses headlining the main stage at 10 o'clock, finish at midnight, and then 1 o'clock Kylie Minogue or Kanye West would come on just to round the night off. It was honestly bizarre. But yeah, so like more festivals, just staggering around and just finding the vibe like that. It was just great.
So you traveled a lot. How many passports do you own?
I've only got the one.
Oh,
I've just been too lazy to take I've got Scottish grandparents, so that's how I got my visa right to remain in Australia. So in the UK, so yeah, I've just got the one.
Okay.
Because up until I think it was, I say this, up until it was probably 14 years ago, Australia didn't allow dual citizenship, but they do now.
Right.
So I still just travel on my Australian passport, which is probably worth more than the British passport now, since the electorate ballsed it all up yet again. So
sure. Do you go home to Australia often?
Not often. We try and get every 3 or 4 years. It's hard with the kids, and it's also, being a bit selfish. I spoke to Trig yesterday, actually. He's because his grandma, Rosie Lee's turning 100 in January, so he's thinking about doing it. And the last time we did it with the kids, we did a stopover, actually just in transit in Singapore. So he was asking about the details.
Had to stop and use the toilet.
Yeah, we stopped and used the hotel. It was great.
Sure.
And the problem is, you get the kids there and they're knackered for days, and because of the the parent situation, Dad lives in Melbourne. Mum lives in still on the Gold Coast. So you've got to split the time.
Wow.
It's 4 weeks. If we want to go out there, you've got to block book the holidays and take it out. I'd rather go to Spain 3 times and Greece once. I love my family, but it's not. They can
because Melbourne to the Gold Coast too. I mean, that's
that's a
not close. I mean,
exactly. A couple of hours on the fly. It was funny the first time we went over before the kids. Just with my wife Nicola, she's the reason I'm here, the love of the life. And Nicola, we flew from, I think we stopped in Dubai, so we were coming across that way, and the pilot said, we're now crossing the Australian continental landmass, we're now in Australian territory. Nick got up and started to get the overhead bag and everything out. We landed 5.5 hours later.
Just waiting, standing.
Just standing the whole time.
All right.
Oh, when are they going to open the doors? I've had another sleep and 6 beers.
It's a big country.
But you're talking about humble brags and flights. That's not Tim Ellis's greatest humble bag. 12 of us went to Miami once. That must have been pretty close to Barbados, or was it after?
It was the same year. I
think it was after. And I on the flight on the way over, I think we flew with BA. There was 12 of us on the way over. I usually try, because I'm 6'4" and I try and get the emergency seat. Back in the day, it wasn't a revenue maker for them. You used to be able to say, "Look,
Right.
guys, here, sort me out," and they didn't have any. So I sort of stood at the back of the plane and got a beer, and then Leigh joined me, and then Trig joined me. By the time the flight landed, honestly, it was like a party down the back. We had airline hostesses joining us. I think the co-captain came down for a little bit of a chat. But they got a bit pissed. They got a bit annoyed towards the end of it. So on the flight back, I must have been red ticketed. And they said, I got upgraded to like premium economy or something. The rest of the boys are down the back. So I thought I'll stroll down and see what the, what the plebs are doing down the back about halfway through the flight. And we'd had a full 5 days in Miami, overindulged.
Everybody's exhausted. Yeah.
Honestly, guys, I walked through, pushed the curtain back. There was just a sea of everyone in the whole cabin like this with the emergency landing card. Tim just sat there with his arms folded, just looked at me and nodded and went, the worst part of all time. The whole cabin trying to keep alive with their emergency card. Tim just with the arms folded, just with the sly nod. What do you think of that one, mate?
If you're just joining us here on NBA Happy Hour, thank you so much. Shout out to the stream team. I saw somebody say this, and it's true. It's like we have 2 Lee Ellises here on the show tonight. JD's worst nightmare. Take Lee and duplicate him. Oh man, it's so good. Oh.
I sent JD a couple of pics. The first one there, JD is just the team, the crew that went down there to Miami.
Okay, let's see the crew. You guys traveled all over the goddamn place, man. Wow, look at this.
I love it.
Oh wow, that's a lot of you. Yeah.
That was on sunny South Beach on arrival, and then the second one.
Okay, hold on. Before you move off this picture, from left to right, Lily, give me the names of everybody or the nicknames, whatever they go by. Yeah,
so that's Chizzy first.
Yep, of course.
Then you got Trav Fernie. Then you got Rodders. Then you got my brother Tim. Then you got Rory. Then you got Big Matt in front of Big Trig. Then you got me. Then you got Davo. Then you got Big Plug.
Oh, he is a big guy, yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got my brother Nick, my other brother Nick, and then you got
handsome Nick.
And then you got Burbs as well. They're on the end there.
Burbs. Burbs is pretty tall.
Yeah, Burbs actually played Australian rules football at the highest level. He was an excellent athlete. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So what were you guys called? What was like your group name? You had to have something.
The Snakes.
Tough. A bunch of tough guys. The Snakes.
But on that trip down there, some of us handled the jet lag a little better than others. And the first night of the Cleveland Derby.
that was another odd one, Leigh. Was it that was that outdoor gig, and who was playing? Was it like
that was
literally who is this?
I think Sugar Ray was playing down
Sugar
there.
Ray, that's right.
Yeah. And so Chizzy, what we did, we were all sitting around drinking and just chatting, and Chizzy fell asleep, and we all got up and left him and just watched what happened. And the waiter, or the table waiter, kind of was looking around, going, guys, what are you doing here? And then when Chizzy finally woke up, he looked around. Where is everybody? Chizzy.
Who is that sleeping? Was that Chizzy that was sleeping?
That was Chizzy. Yeah, that was
okay.
Cool story, bro.
I can't imagine the Snakes rolling into a bar together.
And the place we stayed, it was like a dormitory setup, wasn't it? There was 2 rooms with 6 of us each, and in that first photo, poor Rod, one night, honestly, and it was a communal carsy, guys. It was the communal dunny. Poor Rod. I think he got held down. He was the last in one night. He's never been the same since.
Scarred him for life. I just realized in that one photo, I guess that was the trip to Miami, you said, Leigh.
Yeah.
3 Ellis brothers. You
Yeah.
said you had both your brothers there. Tim, I think, in the white to the left, and
Yeah,
you at the
that's right.
back, and then Nick with the buzz cut there, sort of on the right.
Yeah. Well,
Wow, three Ellis bros rolling together. It's crazy.
Yeah, we there's a lot of Sunbury representation there too. Actually, there's
Totally.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Sunbury boys out of the 12 there too, which is quite incredible. Yeah, well, all 3 of us lived in London at the time, and me and Plugger kind of were the ones who organised that. And speaking of that little hostel that we stayed in, Matt, the reason why we stayed in it was because Plugger stayed in that a few years earlier, and he did quite well with the girls, so he wanted to go back and stay at the same hotel.
Replicate it.
Is there anywhere Plugger hasn't stayed where he hasn't reported on the how well he did with the birds?
Is that what he does? That's his TripAdvisor review for these hotels and stuff
well,
like that?
that's the boys' advisor reviews.
Right.
And
Right.
you get to the end of the holiday and you're just thinking, Plug, come on, mate, we've seen you now. Come on, we've seen you in action. And yeah, it didn't happen.
Do any of those, I guess some of them do, right, Lee? They live in Australia, of that epic photo there?
Yeah, I would say
Ocean's 12 photo of you guys?
The amount that live in Australia now, well, Matt and Trigger are overseas. I'm overseas.
Chizzy's in the States.
Oh, yeah, Chizzy's in Houston, actually. That's right.
Oh, yes. I knew that. even.
Yeah,
Plug's gone back to the Gold Coast.
Yeah, Plugger's on the Gold Coast. And everyone else, I think, is back in Australia. I mean,
okay, so most are.
Burbs.
Yeah, Rory, Tim, Burbs. Yeah, Burbs is.
The one guy's not back in Australia. He's still sleeping in that bar.
Never went back.
That was Chizzy. Amazing. You guys traveled a lot, it feels like. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, we went down there because we went to the Heat and the Wolves game down there in Miami. Remember that one, Matt?
Were these always sports-specific trips, Lee?
No.
Okay.
There was no basketball on the radar, and Lee was just like, "Come on, we've got to go." And it was sort of a double-edged sword that night because we were struggling to find sort of a place to go, and I think we'd had a big night just at the local bar the night before and found a couple of places to have a drink. And Lee took us to the game, and everyone was pretty knackered. I think actually Plug had a kip in the match, didn't he? And then there was wherever it was where the game was, there was a big nightclub next to us, and that turned into the pretty epic night out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was it was called Bongo Bongos. It's right there. It's right there next to
Cool.
It's right there next to the American Airlines Arena.
Oh.
And big Plug, he certainly livened up once he got into the night.
He loves bongo bongos.
Yeah.
As they say, bongo bongos is where the home is.
There he is.
What is this guy doing?
Is he always
for animals, man? Holy moly!
So he said, "We're not sure where to go. We've got a whole basketball team. Let's go to a basketball game, and then we're going out."
Yes, and notice all the birds around you guys too.
It's like a crop circle, isn't it? Everyone's just scattered.
That guy's huge, though. Is that Eric Bana? Somebody said. So Lee, hold on, just this Miami story, because now I'm fascinated. Because Big Matt said nobody else was really into the basketball. It sounded like no one really cared, and you're like, we gotta go, and you sort of dragged all 12 guys there, or 11 other.
Well,
guys.
I actually, it was funny because I was emailing the Miami Heat saying I've got a big group coming, and I wanted to get.
You are insane.
Well, I said, what kind of a deal can you get for because originally the trip I think was only like 8 guys, and then more and more guys just kept coming. And so I had a deal for like 8 tickets for like $40 in the lower bowl each. And then I had to email the guy, say, can you make it 9? And he's like, sure, no worries. 10,
he's like, 10.
Okay. 11, he just sent back a yes. At 12, he just didn't respond. But they were all there.
Wow.
They were all there.
Okay. So you sat lower bowl. I mean, do you remember the game at all, Lee?
Dwayne Wade played.
Oh, Wade played. Okay.
Nice.
Rookie Dwayne Wade played. And I did get my name up on the Jumbotron because it was like, it was
Lee Ellis brings 11 other dudes.
it was called, they were giving shout outs to everyone, and it was like the Lee Ellis group.
Oh, the snakes are here. You guys are all putting up messes on camera. That's amazing. Big Matt, are you a basketball fan then at all, or no?
Unfortunately, guys, it's not big on the radar. So, as Lee, I don't know whether he's told you before, sport in Australia is very territorial and territorial rather than tribal. Over and the difference being is, in the UK or England specifically and Scotland, it is so tribal. It is you are your club before you are your country. Whereas in Australia, up north, I'm from Queensland, so it was rugby league and union. Whereas down south for Lee, it was all Australian rules football. Yeah. So we did have, there was interest did peak. I don't know whether it's still grown or waned. Lee, you'd be a better commentator. But there was, the National League in basketball. I think we had was it the Brisbane Bullets? Who was it? The Heat or Brisbane?
No, you had the Brisbane Bullets, and I think you had the Townsville Crocodiles, the Townsville Crocodiles as well, and you had the Gold Coast Rollers there for a while, but I don't think they
the Rollers. That's right. They did start a franchise, and it didn't last very long. But yeah, it peaked because they did all right in the Olympics one year, and so there was a bit of a roll going on, and but I went and watched a few games, and I think it may have been the Rollers or up in Brisbane. I can't remember, but it's never been a big one on the radar. It's always been, our national sport is cricket. That's it. That's what everyone plays in every state. And, for me, that is, my favourite sport of all time. Without a doubt is Test cricket, going back to Barbados. And that's why we went out there. I know it's bizarre. It's a 5-day game and it's a draw at the end of it and all that. But it's one of those, the subtleties of it is just, is fascinating. So,
do you feel like Lee knows a lot about cricket? Because for us, Lee is an expert in cricket. Yeah. Is he knowledgeable in the game?
I could imagine Lee would be skimming over the basics and making himself look pretty good. I think so. No, it's one of those things. If you grow up with it and you play it, you understand it. It's like I've been in the UK for 20 years now, and no one, and I still can't get football as far as the defensive setups and unless you play it and from a young age and you understand the attacking formations and the diamonds and the shape of the field. I just look at football and it's just 11 blokes kicking a ball to one another. And but I love it. I love the Premier League.
I would say there's one other thing with soccer, football that you got confused with one time, Matt, was when you told me you had tickets to England versus Australia at Old Trafford, and it was a World Cup qualifier, and I was like, I've got a spare ticket. I said, I'll come up for that. I'll come up for a weekend in Manchester. Like, I
nearly had the Aussie face paint, the lot on. Come on, the Aussies. It was Austria.
What did it end up being?
England, Austria. I got it was the early days of the internet, boys. And I was on like Ticket Web or something. Look.
That's
I
good.
can't believe it. You in, boys, you in? And I can get us tickets for 20 quid. And I remember we went, and it was the dullest game. I think Frank Lampard scored a penalty in like the 90s.
I remember sort of when you sent the email, and I was like, I thought there'd be a bit more hype, England versus Australia. Because
how did I not know this?
Exactly. The year before, England played Australia in a friendly at Upton Park, and I went to that game, and Australia won, and it was like
Australia beat them,
3-1, and it was great. And then I'm like, why is Australia playing a World Cup qualifier against England? Like, that just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I was like, all right, I bought the ticket. I'm on my way to Manchester.
Trust Matt.
Wow, that is funny. That is awesome. I wish you guys, had the face paint, the golden green.
Let's
just
go.
sitting there. Oh man,
Arms above the head. Come on, the Aussies.
very funny. Wow. Okay, so you're the big cricket guy. That's your thing.
Yeah.
I was going to ask before Trey asked that question. Is Leigh good at cricket? Have you guys ever played cricket? I guess.
Great point.
I don't think so. I don't think we've even had the backyard bash.
Wow.
I remember when we went to Miami. I don't know. It's just one of those strange things. In the travel bag, I had the great skimming ball in the bag that could skim across. You'd be in the water practicing the catches. Leigh dropped, probably 60-70%.
Oh, come
bad
on,
hands, mate.
Come on,
bad hands. And if you can't catch, you won't win a match. So
bars. So what? Lee's all flash is what you're saying. I can see that going for the big swings.
Yeah.
I've actually got a photo of Miami, and I think I shared it with Leigh earlier. And it's funny because you can tell that Ellis brothers have played in some cricket teams or some football teams in the past. It was us. I think I must have taken the photo because I'm not in it. But they're sat down like they're posing for the photo in the third 11 cricket team, with the proper hands on the fists and everything.
Okay, we find this photo.
Yeah, JD should have it now.
Yes.
I think it's both you and Tim with the bald fists on the knee, waiting to be presented with the baggy green cap for your Australian debut.
So, Leigh, is this true? Like you guys had picked up like this pose or this very professional way to go about it?
Yeah, it's like the school photo pose. You know, when you're sitting in the front, they just tell you to put your hands into like a knuckle. And I'm at the front, and then my brother Tim is to the end there on the left. He's got the same. Nick's not really doing it though in the middle, so I guess
no. He must
Nick's like, I'm too cool for this shit.
He didn't get picked that day.
So
I think I'm pretty sure in your lap there, that's the itinerary for Miami that we got to, wasn't it, Leigh?
I think that's the USA Today that I was checking my fantasy NBA scores on that because I had to, because the season had started and that was when fantasy basketball was huge. So I was checking in. Matt, I was telling the guys a few weeks ago how in Barbados we were sitting with the Bajans in the crowd. And they would bring food and drink, and when we ran out of drink, one of the locals would basically just like, "Hey, you want some ice?"
Absolutely.
Hey, you want some ice?
We don't know. Even from buying the tickets. Remember when those photographs were taken? We went there. We'd come to Barbados for this test match, and that's what we wanted to do. And it's great. You want to be in Barbados as well, but also there's a test match at Bridgetown. Traditional great old stadium, fantastic. All the colonial stuff that went with it, and we got there and we just looked at each other. We've got no tickets. We've got no tickets for this game. How popular is it going to be? Is it going to be sold out? And that was before Bridgetown was redeveloped. And I don't know what it held, probably 15,000. So I don't know. So we decided we better get out of the pool and stop the waitresses sniffing the hair and go down and find out what's actually happening. So we went down, and that's when those photos were taken. We went down, and it was like just some bloke in the back of the groundskeeper cottage sold us like 4 days worth of tickets for like 10 quid each or something. It was nothing. So we did the deal, and then we were walking out, and we saw that little gap in between the grandstand and the ground, and there was no security or anything. I said, "Come on, boys, let's go and have a look. Let's go and check the pitch out. We'll do a pitch report." So we were out there, and honestly, we were halfway to the actual wicket before someone said, "Hey, what's up, boys?"
Yeah.
Stop. And we thought, "Oh, we got busted here." They sat down. We sat down in the outfield and had a beer with the groundsman, and it was just magic, wasn't it? Oh. And then we walked away thinking,
there he
is doing the groundskeeping.
Come on.
The thing about that is, in Melbourne or anywhere in Australia or England, like they would not let you onto the pitch the day before a test match, and they certainly wouldn't let you on the watering truck. You know, Barbados, they were just like, yeah, who cares? Just do whatever you want.
Relaxed, yeah. That's the big deal. I can't believe. Did you say you had to buy? I never thought about this. So, like for a test match, which is I guess 5 days, you guys are saying, right?
Yeah.
You have to buy tickets to it to every day.
Well, like when the Ashes come, when they play the Ashes over here, predominantly because in Australia, you know, they've got the bigger stadium type grounds, and you know, look, I love the MCG and you know Sydney Cricket Ground and everything, but they're stadiums. Whereas over here, they're more cricket grounds. But even during the Ashes, they add additional stands to like Old Trafford because there's 2 Old Traffords, obviously the one where United play, and then there's the Old Trafford Cricket Ground right next to each other. They add stands to them, and Edgbaston and Lords, particularly, and the two London cricket grounds, Lords and the Oval, they're restricted. So these get sold out years, in advance. So yeah, you do have to buy advance tickets. Now, if it gets rained out, you get your money back. Okay. Or day 5 they never put day 5 on sale in case
it's like not close at all. Yeah.
Or it doesn't
happen. Get situations.
Or it doesn't happen.
Yeah. Or it doesn't happen. The game's over after day 5. But then you get situations like the 2005 Ashes, which really reignited cricket in Britain, or the Ashes series, because it was such a great series at Old Trafford, where they didn't sell tickets for day 5. They had like 30,000 people outside the cricket ground trying to get in on day 5 because it went to the wire. It was so it's a bit of a balancing act. But at the moment, I don't know, Leigh, whether you've been following the England or Englander in India at the moment.
No, not really, not so much. No.
So they're playing the 4th test at the moment. It's 2-1 to India at the moment, and in the 3rd test, it was all over by, I think it was the second session on day 2. It was all done. It was the fastest test match since 1935. Yeah. But, there's a lot of...
And that's the thing. Fastest test match, and it still took 2 days. What
is the MCC members waiting list? That's a question from the stream team.
I think, is it something like 15, 16 years, maybe longer. The Marylebone Cricket Club is Lords, so the home of cricket.
Yeah. Okay. But it's the members waiting list. But it's a small. There's probably only, I don't know. Someone can maybe tell us on the stream team here, like 500-600 members, and it's one of those things that it's like Green Bay Packers. Once you get a ticket, you kind of hold on to that for life, and you try to pass it down.
Goes through your family. Yeah.
But you've got to wear the tie and the jacket and all the formalities that come with it. Yeah. You can't be like Plugger sitting in the stands with the shirt off in the Speedos.
Asking for hand ice from some
we got to be classy.
A little more buttoned up when you're
not for the snakes. They said no way.
Wow.
Yeah, no, back to that. I think we started on that first day. So Leigh had purchased the durag. So this is early doors. Triggered had the kip at the bar. Leigh had come and woken us up. But I think the cricket started like 3 or 4 days after we were there. Yeah. So on that first day, Triggered been woken up. We'd got down to the outdoor festival, seen the cutting crew, and then that's it. We were off into town. What was it? St. Lawrence Gap, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
That was. We found the karaoke bar. And since then, I'd like to. Honestly, guys, it was dark at this stage, and that was it. It was the man in the durag singing "Hunker Hunker Burnin' Love" by Elvis. Absolutely, I seen Bayesians falling off their chair, laughing that hard. It was just a sea of smiling faces with the durag flopping in the back. It was almost, mate, he was on fire. Standing
it's
ovation.
So unfortunate you guys were doing this prior to really video cameras that you could travel with conveniently, because man, I'd love to watch that. I'd pay good money.
Well, that's the thing. I think when you fly in, you're jet lagged, you start drinking, it's hot. You're coming from London where it's cold, so your body is just completely out of whack. You're a bit delirious, and then you're having fun with the boys, and someone says, "Hey, you want to?" Because I remember as well that karaoke bar, the people were just going up and just singing like, blah, blah, blah. They weren't really putting anything into it.
Right, move aside.
Yeah.
Is that a common activity for the snakes? Karaoke?
Well, one snake.
He will always perform. That's
It's
true.
solo. No.
When we were out on our tours, he would always you would take a turn, no doubt. Some Robbie Williams.
Yeah, I don't I don't think there was any down in Miami. I don't really remember it. It certainly didn't stand out anyway.
No, I can't remember too much karaoke.
I remember there was a guy at the bar at the hotel who was just casually having a couple of quiet drinks by himself, and he had the Shaquille O'Neal Lakers jersey and shorts on, and he was just sitting there having a drink, wearing his Shaquille O'Neal full-on uniform. And
yeah, why not? Never know when a game's going to bust out. Leigh, this is a good question from Evan Peterson. We need Leigh Ellis's top 5 karaoke songs.
Ooh.
Wow.
So, I mean, I know I'm putting you right on the spot, but what would be your go-to, at least top 3 or something like that?
Okay, well, when we were in New York, actually, on the No Season Required tour, I remember Lady Gaga's, what's that song? I can't think of the song now.
JD, help him out. You were there.
Rah, rah, rah,
Bad Romance.
Bad Romance,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a great one.
Definitely seen you do that one.
Killed that one for sure.
Yep.
I would have to say after that, Angels, Robbie Williams. Okay. I mean, because of the crowd participation and the crowd involvement there, that you can really drum up.
Does that happen often, Leigh, when you sing it? Like,
I think it happened. It happened down here in Atlanta when we came down for our for our sort of
callback.
What was that? What are we down here for? Just sort of like a meeting, really, wasn't it?
Yeah,
could have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when you dropped the infamous that you were from Pakistan joke, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were in a room, Matt, with all the executives from NBA TV. We hadn't signed our contract yet. It was, it was
sounds like a Seinfeld
episode. Well, see, what happened was I was actually in a bar in Toronto one time, and it was when the I think it was the 2007 Cricket World Cup was on, and Australia, we won that one. That was in the West Indies. We won that, and I was wearing my Australia soccer shirt, and I was in the toilet, and some guy said, "Oh, are you Australian?" I said, "Nah, I'm Pakistani," and he was like. And I'm like, no, I'm only joking. Of course I'm Australian. He's like, oh, okay, great.
Killed it.
So we were in this
File
meeting.
that one away.
I can't wait to say that one again.
Need that later.
Yeah, that's going to get him down the track, that one.
Well, that's the thing. I got a good response. And so I thought, yeah, that is something I can pull out of the hat every now and again. So we were in a big meeting room with all the executives from NBA TV.
Yeah,
and
like big, important people.
Yeah. The decision makers who could have rescinded the contract offer at any time. And I went to who went first? I think Matt went first, our other producer, Matt, who said, Matt, I'm from Montreal and blah, blah, blah. And then I think it was someone else next, maybe Trey saying, I'm from Chicago and blah, blah, blah. And then I just said, I'm Leigh and I'm from Pakistan.
Crickets.
Just tumbleweed.
Yeah.
I think I got some sympathy laughs from Trey, and that was about it. And I just like, oh my god, I'm 1-1 now with this joke.
And how did you think it was going to float in that room? Did you think?
It's a different setting for sure.
All these executives must have seen that CCTV footage from that Dunny, 12 months ago. They must be in on it.
I just sort of thought, you know what, this will be an icebreaker. It's a classic, well, he's definitely not from America. Where's he from? England or South Africa, New Zealand, Australia? No. Pakistan.
And how did the recovery go?
I think there was just that awkward sort of silence, weirdness in the room. And JD, maybe you can say more. JD, what was it like?
Yeah, what do you remember, JD?
What do I remember?
Or did the shutters just come down, JD, and that was it? That was mind blank.
Well, so much for this job. Guess we're not coming here.
what you're leaving out is there were probably 25 people in the room other than us. Like there was a lot of people in the room, and they all went first. They all went around and said, "Hi, I'm who's such and such, and I work in marketing, blah blah blah." So it was a slow burn to get to you. It should have popped, Lee. The tension was ripe, like, but no. No.
Yeah, Lee must have been thinking the whole time it was going around the table, and people were saying, "Hi, I'm so and so from X place. I'm so and so from X." And Lee, you must have been thinking, "Oh, do I do it? Do I pull it out?
Yeah.
Do I go with the Pakistan joke? Let's try it. Let's do it. Oh, should I? Maybe not. Oh, and then
I did think, like, what if it doesn't hit? But then I thought, what if it does though? This would be a great way to do it.
High risk, high reward.
What if it does? I might have my own show tomorrow. They might just say, "You are the next Wolf Blitzer. Forget TNT. Forget NBA TV. You're going to CNN, my man." Oh, that's so good. I love that.
Yeah. Well, we still managed to squeeze 6 years out of it. So
yeah.
I think
we may have had a couple more if we didn't drop that Pakistan joke.
You're claiming it as a victory, Lee.
Well, I'm just saying that we
hinder us. Yeah,
it didn't hinder us. I mean, I think people just accepted that. Okay, it was a joke that didn't quite hit, but no one's batting 1,000 out there. You've got to you've got to take a few misses. So I'll use it again, though. In fact, I was in New York. Actually,
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I don't know about.
Well, I was in New York
too. I don't think so.
I was in New York at a comedy show with Foxy. Do you know Foxy, Matt, at all from London? He's another Australian guy. I don't know if I think your paths didn't really cross. He came to London when you were sort of up in Manchester. Anyway, we were at a comedy show, and the guy up there was asking people going around, "Where are you from? What are you doing? Where are you from?" When he was coming to me, I was like, I got nothing to lose here. I'm definitely going to stand here.
I'll go for the hat trick.
Yeah, this is the audience where you can try it out, and you might get a few laughs from the crowd, and maybe even the guy up on stage. But he didn't come to me, so I'm still ready to see if I finish 2-1 or 1-2.
Oh, I can't wait for 6 years from now when you pull it out again, and we determine whether this joke is a success, working 66% of the time, or a complete failure, working only 33%. I can't wait. Oh my god, that was favorite. It was yeah, I just think they were confused too. You really confused them because you hadn't talked a whole lot up until that point. So they were like, they didn't know where you were from, like legit know where you were from or where you lived or were born or whatever. It was like not that far fetched.
I sort of thought though they would have been, saying, well, it's one of the guys is not North American. I don't know. I mean,
you overthought it, I think.
Yeah. Anyway.
Amazing. So what do you have planned for the weekend? I know you're in lockdown. I guess not much. Is that right, Big Matt?
Absolutely not much at all. So the kids go back to school on Monday. So they've reopened the schools. We've had to take the older one, Oscar, for a couple of lateral flow tests this afternoon. Actually, we took him up for one. And he's always been really nervous about school, and this is his first year of high school, and he struggled in primary school. He's got a couple of special learning issues. He's dyslexic and dyspraxic, and we took him up for his lateral flow test, his COVID test on yesterday. It was so Wednesday, and we got back home, and there was actually a text message when we got back home saying, "Can you bring Oscar back?" Because it's come up void, his test, and he was like, "Jesus, I can't even pass a COVID test at school." I had to put the arm around him and go, "Don't worry, mate, it's all right. It's probably the equipment more than your nose. Yeah. It's okay." So, look, it is honestly Groundhog Day. It is just grinding us out. But we're there. The vaccination program's going pretty well here. I mean, for a lot of the stuff they've got badly wrong, it looks like, because we have got a pretty good health system in the NHS that have done what they could do in the circumstances. But when it's time for boots on the ground and actually getting people jabs in arms, they're doing really well.
That's good.
So there is light at the end of the tunnel. So what am I doing this weekend? The same I've been doing for the last 52, mate.
Nice,
Getting up, shouting at the kids, kicking the dog, That's about it. That's about it.
Oh yeah, Lee, we got quite the cliffhanger going here. We stopped at
Yeah.
2, your karaoke songs. We went off on our tangents, and you were telling your legendary jokes. So finish it off. We got Lady Gaga, Bad Romance, Robbie Williams, Angels, as we talked about, big crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
What's 3, 4, and 5?
I think I have to go with Burnin' Love from Elvis. Wow. I mean,
look, I'll verify it, guys. It was an absolute smasher.
Oh wow,
Smasher. Are you are you doing dance moves
Oh,
Yeah.
to this? I mean,
the
it's
hips were
Elvis.
shaking.
Sure.
Earth was quaking.
okay. So a little Elvis at number 3.
I've got to get something from Bon Jovi in there. I think I might just go with Bad Medicine. I mean, it's an all-time favorite. It's a classic. I think I'm going with Bad Medicine. Bon Jovi, number 4. Number 5. I mean,
What about what's the one Kanye song you know all the lyrics to?
yeah, that's with Estelle.
That's good. American Boy.
American Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could go some Yay in there at number 5. I think
Tough to pull off on karaoke, though. Mate.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
You gotta nail it.
But I mean, you get the powers from your durag, I assume, when you're up
Yeah,
there.
true.
Right. Wow, what a top 5! Incredible. Oh, you just got an eclectic taste lately.
All right, let's run it.
Oh man. Too good.
Ooh la la, want your bad romance?
Oh yeah.
Pause up.
Roma, Gaga, ooh la la, want your bad romance? I want your ugly, I want your disease. I want your anything as long as it's free. I want your love.
Oh, he knows it.
Love, 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 I want your love.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I want your drama, the touch of your hand. Hey, I want your leather started kissing the sand. I want your love. Love, 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 I want your love.
Oh my goodness.
That's beautiful, fine. That's just enough, JD. That's just
a
enough.
taste. That's all they get, Lily. Just a taste.
Just
They'll have to come and see the rest on the tour, Lee.
Well, yeah. Lee says we're gonna sell out like stadiums when we go to Australia, 20,000. So maybe that's you're the opener, Lee, with the karaoke.
Yeah, not 20,000, but I think we could get. I think we could get up to 5,000.
Okay.
In Sydney and Melbourne, because Matt, we were when Australia played the USA in 2 basketball games 2019 it was. I was hoping to take the guys out from our show for a tour, do a couple of live shows. We've done live shows like in Vegas, and we did them, Chicago last year. We did them. We've done them at All-Star weekends, and they're great. And I just said that basketball is huge in Australia. It's got a lot of support, and our show has got a huge Australian fan base too. I said I think we could get a few thousand people come along to a show and enjoy it. Get a few Australian celebrities to join us as well.
Who's on the hit list?
Well, Bruce McAvaney, I think would be fun.
Bruce, is he still going, Bruce?
Well, he's not commentating footy anymore. He
just retired, didn't he?
Yeah, he just retired last weekend because he's actually got leukemia. He's been battling leukemia for
I didn't know that.
Yeah, for like 3 or 4 years. I did a podcast with him last year, Matt. Big Brucey.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Sorry, mate.
I'll send it along. But he was awesome. He was incredible. He's still going to do things like the Olympics and horse racing and things like that. But the footy, because he was doing, well, he used to do 2 games of footy a weekend. Now he was back to 1, and now he's just he's not doing any anymore. I don't think.
I saw the comments, Lee, where I think I saw a tweet that had him retiring or something, and like the comments were all like, "Good, about time," 5 years too late. Like, it had a very like Marv Albert vibe to it to me.
That's
like
the typical tall poppy syndrome that
Yeah.
Australians can get caught up in sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah, because he covered so many sports in Australia, and for the last like 40 years as well. So he's been the voice of Australian sport, and mainly Australian football, but always the Olympics as well. Obviously, that's only every Well, I don't know if he did Winter Olympics actually too, Matt. Do you know if he did the Winter Olympics?
I can't remember Bruce calling the moguls, to be fair.
Speed.
But he did the tennis, and he was just like the super jock. He knew everything about every sport. So when you do it for 40 years, you're gonna
people get tired of.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm sure he got up there in age, and he's maybe screwing up names.
Al Michaels style or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but because on the horse racing, he knew every bit of form as well. To know everything about every stable and then go and call the football the next day. Credit where it's due. The guy must have just been. Had a processing brain unbelievably. He was great. Yeah.
John Schumann, by the way, he's gone now. He commented a couple of minutes ago, Lee. I waited 3 minutes too long to go to bed. Good night, everyone. I think he's talking about your karaoke performance.
He wanted that to be the last thing.
Yeah. John Schumann's going to be lying in bed tonight thinking of Lee singing Bad Romance. And then John Edward, he and the stream team wrote, Lee is so off pitch that YouTube cannot copyright strike this stream. Which is great. We're going to find out, I guess, when the copyright claim comes in. Anyway, so good. I'll let you share that.
Well, karaoke, I think JD will probably know. Karaoke's no fun when someone's a good singer. Karaoke's the best when someone's just absolutely atrocious.
I mean, it takes a special kind of bad singer for it to be so bad it's good, The worst is the bad singers that think they're good. Those are the worst, right?
Yeah.
If you're going up there and you're giving it and you don't care, then that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're right about that.
But having said that, do you guys get, I presume, all like we get the X Factor and all that sort of stuff. When you get to the good ones, no one's interested.
Yeah, you're a good singer. Yeah,
exactly. You're a good singer, and you're going to win it. Great, fantastic. You want the deluded fools. That's the entertainment.
That's true.
It is, honestly. Let's be honest about it.
Yep.
And in the top left here, you've got deluded fool number one.
That's why he's so good.
That's why, exactly. He's just entertainment value.
Just gotta have fun.
It just keeps plugging through.
Yeah, you just gotta. You're right. You just gotta commit. The worst part of karaoke is someone that gives up halfway.
Half.
And you're like, come on.
And that's why I think they still talk about you in Barbados to this day. You were, everything in, mate. You just threw the hat in the ring and set it on fire and danced around it as well.
Oh my God. If you ever went back to Barbados and walked into this same bar, I would love the bartender to remember you somehow. That's the guy.
I'm sure there's photos. On the bar. It's probably been renamed Leroy's.
Good bar name. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Leroy's.
Amazing. Yeah. What else, Lily? I mean, I'm not going to stay too late here tonight. I don't want to keep Matt up any longer than we need to, but also don't want to wrap up the party by any means.
Matt, JD's a big fan of British comedies and British soap operas. So
really?
Maybe, I don't know, Matt, JD, have you got a question for Matt about Coronation Street or EastEnders or what are you on to these days?
Me, I'm watching, I'm way behind on my Coronation Street, but you're living in where Coronation Street is fictionally supposed to be. Weatherfield is in Manchester now. Are you?
Absolutely. The last hotel we did, JD, was directly across. There's the Manchester Ship Canal that used to bring all the coal up and down. Yep. And where they film Coronation Street is directly across the Ship Canal where we've done the latest hotel. So you go up on the top floor of the hotel, you can look down and you can see the set of Weatherfield.
Wow. Sweet.
I'll take some photos next time I'm up there for you, fella.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to go. I want to go to the Rovers and have a pint. And speaking of British shows, Skeets, I just watched 3 episodes of The Bridge tonight.
And?
Oh, it's everything you said it would be. And so much more.
It's so good. I knew you'd love it. I regret not telling you earlier. The Bridge.
Is this the British version of the Danish one that was done originally?
Oh, I don't know that part, but probably. Yeah.
With the body.
The body.
The body? No. No.
So this one on Netflix here, it's a British show. it's a weird reality survivor like show, but it's a bunch of strangers that have to build literally a bridge.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of money on this island that they got to get to. There's all these little twists and turns, but JD's loving it. Okay, good to hear.
So good, so good. I won't say much about it, but I will say, Skeets, yeah, there is a cast member who comes on the show.
Yep.
Hot, like the most annoying cast member on any reality show I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot.
Wow.
Is that fair? Like, am I exaggerating?
Maybe a little bit. I guess I didn't. My brain didn't go there, and I watch a lot of this dumb reality TV too. So, but did you enjoy the person or loathed the person?
Loathed with every fiber.
Wow.
With every fiber. But that's all I'll say. You guys got to watch it.
Watch
and
the
it's
bridge.
just like,
it's great.
I mean, this person tones down as the episode goes, but it's like, oh my God. I've never been like, oh my God.
I assume you're talking about The American?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is this worth watching this weekend? Watching a whole series of it? Because I don't know. Why not?
I mean,
yeah, why not?
You might as well.
I think you'll like it.
You'll get
This is
into
what
it.
HBO Max?
Oh, it is HBO Max.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was on Netflix. Okay, it's on
Yeah.
HBO Max.
How much of it is like the actual process of making a bridge, the bridge craft, or is it more like challenge based sort of things?
No,
challenge
there are
is
no
the
other
bridge.
challenges. Really,
That's it.
all
They're
they're
just
doing.
building a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all the trials and tribulations of doing it. And just you got to watch it. I don't want to say too much because there's just stuff that happens that's just it's just crazy. It's great. It's great. It's only 8 episodes, so you'll be able to blast through it.
Yeah,
Easy.
once Trey watches it, we'll do an
Easy.
after the bridge episode where we recap it and give our highlights. So
great.
make it a podcast.
Great.
I asked the stream team for any questions for you, Big Matt.
Here we go.
Let's go. I've got one here from Wolfpack 2. How many NBA players can you name?
There we go.
Wow.
Oh, Jesus.
Put me down for 3. I think he can do 3.
Okay, I think you can do 3.
What current ever?
Yeah, you know what? Go off the board. Like
Whenever.
Ever?
Yeah.
Okay, so did Gaze play in the NBA?
Yes. He did.
Nice
Yeah,
one.
there we go.
Nice one.
There we go.
Yeah.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Easy. You saw
Kobe.
him play live. Lee
Kobe
already
Bryant.
mentioned
Kobe, that's 3. Yeah.
him. Okay,
Oh, he
so
said
you did
Kobe.
it.
Okay.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
4.
Nice.
I think you've.
Well, he hasn't named one current player yet. One current player. Come on, the biggest name.
Oh, we got Shaq.
No.
I got
Current.
5. No, sorry guys.
Who's the most famous basketballer right now, do you think?
Yeah. His initials are LJ.
LeBron James.
Hey,
Nice.
I was gonna say, there's no way you do not know LeBron James. So I was like, wow, that'd be amazing.
But
Maybe it's like Bone Thugs and Harmony. It takes a little longer to get over there. That's what Lee told us. He had never heard of
No, look,
Bone
guys,
Thugs and Harmony. He never
honestly,
made it over.
The BBC is probably the biggest source of news information in Britain. With some of the other outlets, but digitally, it's probably the BBC. There is nothing
About basketball. Wow.
Honestly, and for some reason, my feed, and I should have known more than this. My feed, because I follow Lee on Twitter, and it's full of basketball stuff. But
Right.
you've got to scroll through that pretty quick.
Skip.
Yeah.
Oh, cricket.
You are just like JD, man. It's incredible.
That's true.
All right, what else you got for him, Lily?
Let me have a look here. Okay, I'll ask you about this one here.
Sure.
Oh boy.
Have you
This is
ever
the question.
so late at
Hang
night?
on, woo. Where's this going?
Explain it.
Not where you think, Matt. Not where you think.
Late at night, you wake up and you need to use the toilet, and
Yeah.
I don't like to awaken the senses, right? So I walk into the toilet, lights off, and I go, frontal onto the toilet, and I sit down and pee into the
He
toilet.
mounts the toilet backwards and pees because he doesn't want to wake himself up.
Hang on.
Anymore.
You're mounting the toilet backwards as opposed to so you're face to system.
Yes.
That's insane, right? That's the craziest thing you've ever heard.
No. So yeah, well, Leigh, I didn't know this about you. Has this been going on for a while, or is this with the kids and not making the kids up?
I don't know when, but a few years ago. Like I say, I just want to wake up, and I'm like, if I turn the lights on, then I fully waken up.
Okay, I get that. But why don't you just do the traditional lady tuck? Front saddle or side saddle rather than reverse cowboy or whatever you're doing, man. Come on.
It's just my momentum. My forward momentum carries me.
But you have to turn around. My favorite part of the whole thing is then you have to turn around anyway to go back to your bed.
Well, you back out the door.
You back out. You never want to take your eyes off the toilet. Is basically what you're saying. You always got to have eye contact with the toilet.
Hang on. Look, my thigh wouldn't fit between the toilet and the wall. What do you got? Just a toilet in the middle of an acre of field, or what's going on here? Where is the toilet?
There's a bit more room here in Atlanta than there is in Manchester. I mean, look.
So someone is saying in the comments, do you, when you back out of the washroom, Leigh, go beep?
That's a great call from Mario.
Sure. Oh, my, yes. Oh my God. Exactly. That's perfect.
It's and no. So okay. Talk me through it. What are you? What attire have you got on? What's the sleeping attire? Because it's going to get real. Strange if you've got the pajamas around the ankles as well.
Yeah, no. It's just boxer shorts. That's all I wear to bed. So it's easy just to slide out to the
So
side.
they're on the floor behind you.
No. I just
They don't call him the snake for nothing. All right?
Oh, Leigh, come on, mate, sort yourself out.
God! Look at this, Matt. You're learning things about the Leigh P. Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, Matt. If Leigh borrowed your plunger, would it be okay if he returned a used plunger to you?
Like he's plunged the dunny and it's done, and bring it back.
Yep,
not a problem.
Yeah,
not a problem.
That's a real friend.
That's a problem.
It's a real friend.
That's right.
What's the big deal? You're not licking it. You're not eating out of it.
Exactly. It's only going one other place.
That's right. That's already dirty.
Well, while we're talking about toilet
I'd
storage,
be a bit worried that he might have peed on it
with his weird system. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
While we're talking toilet stories, Matt, didn't you decide one night in the walkabout in London to use the restroom and at the same time have a little nap while you're in there?
That was my great sleeping moment. Honestly, I can remember the bouncers coming over the wall, coming over the toilet door, and I was just like, no, boys, it's all right. I was just making a call, or it was all right. I think I was gone for hours. Honestly.
Wow.
Were you jet lagged or something though, or was it just you?
No, just it was just a big day. I think we headed out at I think it was the AFL Grand Final.
Oh, right.
So we started at the walkabout. It's sort of like it's one of those days where you have 4 meals, still drinking. You have a breakfast, you have a lunch, second lunch, then dinner, and then that's it. You're in bed on the toilet.
It still exists in England because
I think they've been pretty much decimated with what's been going on at the moment. But they were on their way out. It wasn't of terribly much cultural significance these days. But they were huge. They were huge.
But they saturated the market, I think, especially in London. They went from like being in Shepherd's Bush and Covent Garden, and then they were just like everywhere.
Yeah.
It lost a bit of its its appeal. It was great on those days. On
on the sports days and stuff, it was just absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
Can I don't know, maybe I'm the only one. A walkabout you guys are talking about? This is
an Australian pub in
pub crawl, basically.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not a pub crawl.
The pub is called Walkabout.
It was like a franchise.
Oh, you're actually talking about a place that you.
Yeah.
There was I thought you were saying like you walk like on a pub crawl from bar to bar and blah blah blah. Okay.
No,
but excuse me. And culturally, it's not great because that's what the Indigenous Australians call their their dream time of when they go for spiritual enlightenment, they go for walkabouts. So it was, it's but back in the day, it was great.
Okay, so it was like a franchise, basically.
Yeah. They were everywhere.
I see.
They had a in Covent Garden as well. There was the Canadian, which was owned by, I think it was owned by Molson, and it was like the one place in London you could get Molson Canadian.
Okay. Gotcha.
You go there on Canada Day or for World Cup hockey or whatever, and they show hockey games and stuff. It's the same idea.
Gotcha.
Over here for grand final, Matt, AFL and rugby, but AFL, because that's what I go and watch. It's on at midnight on a Friday night. And me and Skitsy here, we've been going along every year to go along and watch it. There's about, 25, 30 people who go and who turn up.
Is it just at a regular pub that you go to, or is it where?
Yeah, for the most part. I guess we've bounced around. We've done it a while. I mean, this was the last year we didn't do it this year, obviously, with the pandemic. But I mean, how many? We went to like 3 venues, maybe, or maybe only 2 actually. Now
I think it was only the Alfred and then
the Albert.
Tin Roof.
Albert.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Alfred. And Tin Roof Cantina.
Yeah, that's right.
But they would do like raffles and all that stuff. And there's an Australian bakery here in Atlanta, Matt. So they would cater it with meat pies and all that.
Nice.
It was great. It was great.
I won. What beer did I win the one year too?
The Cooper's Ale.
Cooper's Ale, that's what it was.
Is that Cooper's? Is that like a South Australian one?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah. So they were always fun nights to do that. But the walkabouts, because it would start, the game would be 5:30 in the morning. Then you could just stay there all day. You were just off your head at like 12 o'clock in the day because you've been drinking already for 7 hours.
Yeah. You need a little sleep on the toilet. They're quite comfortable, plenty of room. I think sidewise as well. You could do the front on Leigh if you need.
Well, that almost makes more sense. Yeah, you can put your head down, Leigh. And it's like a pillow. Yeah.
Great support.
Any other questions there, Leigh?
What do we got here?
Shout out Brad Beatson.
Yeah, Brad Beatson coming through.
What's he saying there?
Big Beats.
We love the boys. Can't wait to buy my Big Beef hoodie this weekend. Yeah, everybody go to nodunks.com. We released a Big Beef t-shirt, Big Beef hoodie, and NBA, Top Shot Hot Boys t-shirt and hoodie available as well. Hey. So low cereals on those. Go grab those. Nodunks.com. Good stuff, Brad. Way to get that plug in.
Mark wants to know a question that's a bit of a topical one for us right now, Matt. It's what's your favorite kind of beans? I'm sure you get plenty of
your favorite kind of beans.
Them beans.
Them beans.
I bet when you wake up in the morning, you talk to Nicola and she says, "Oh, how was it?" Yeah, they asked me what kind of beans were my favorite.
Yeah, Leigh told me he mounted the toilet backwards.
But frontwards backwards.
Yeah, right.
Takes some explaining. Look, it's got to be the traditional Heinz tin,
Yeah. Wow.
Heinz baked beans,
Classic.
The classic, cover drive. It's always been there, always will be. Tastes good. You can't. I don't like beans that you can do too much with. I like a single purpose bean. You put your Heinz on toast. You don't want to put them in a chili. You don't want to put them in a salad. You know where those beans are going.
Yeah,
that's where I like my beans. One-way traffic.
There you go.
I love it.
Single bean use.
Any other ones, Leigh? We can wrap this up somewhat.
What do we got? Matt, maybe you know this one. I guess this one's coming from someone in England here. Where is it? Matt, is the city red or blue? I guess, are you a Man United or Man City?
No. Well, because I'm on the halfway line. So,
right.
They could be referring to Liverpool or Manchester. But I am a City fan. So when it comes to Manchester, it is blue. So it's funny actually, because when I got to London, I met a couple of guys traveling on the way over, because I left the Gold Coast in '99, and I met a couple of guys on the way over, and Dean and James, and we're still mates to this day. James, we'll say James. James came from a place in Manchester called Longsight, and that is deepest, darkest Manchester. That's where, that is, the proper hardcore Manx, and James was a horticulturalist for a living. James is good at growing things and moving things about, and it just fell into that circle. And when I first got here, so I was in London, and we came up to go to a United game. I think it was United Leicester. And it was just a bit stale. It was just, as amazing as Old Trafford was, and you walk through the doors, and it was, absolutely amazing. But then James, when I moved up because before I lived in St Helens, I lived in Manchester. James said, "Come on, we'll go to a City game," because he was a season ticket holder and he had one spare or whatever. And that was at Main Road, because they've moved to the Etihad Stadium now, which is where the Commonwealth Games was. And Main Road was like, honestly, I had to get a shoehorn to get myself in and out of the seats. It was like, just packed. And the further was just immense. And, everyone just going absolutely wild. And, you hear on the television when they score those goals, what the sounds like is on the television. But, in real life, it was just phenomenal. So, and that was it, so Blue from that stage. So, the answer is Blue. And, of course, City have just gone on to, dominate the Premier League in the last few years. So, but, also troubled times on Merseyside as well for Liverpool. They lost their fifth home
I saw that
tonight. So and Everton look like they're going to finish above them this season.
I think James came to the England Austria game with us, and then like a week later, he had no recollection whatsoever of that.
Let's get parties. I like this guy, James, a horticulturalist.
I think you would actually get along with him pretty well.
If JD gets along with Big Matt, it sounds like TK would get along with James for sure.
Honestly, Trey, he is just, when I'm talking about going to these festivals and stuff, we'd lose James for 24 hours at a time. I remember once at Roskilde, we'd set up this camp, and we were late getting there, but we managed to get a camp quite close to the main stage, and James just went absolutely AWOL, off his head, and it was great. We heard this commotion in the crowd, like near the main stage. We thought, what's that? And here he is. And his nickname was the Gimp. And he was the Gimp strolling through the crowd. And I don't know what you call them over there, but totem tennis. The poles that have got like the tennis ball on the end that you play in the backyard. He had one of those that he'd found in a campsite somewhere, swinging it like a mace around his head. And just clearing out the whole main stage. Honestly, the guy. We also went and saw a gig at Milton Keynes Bowl, which is the UK's biggest outdoor arena, and it was scorching. It was a bit of a festival. I can't remember who was headlining. I think it was Green Day. Maybe was headlining. So it was sort of an alternate festival. And I picked James up, and I drove down to Milton Keynes. It was a couple of hours drive, and I said, right, it's going to be the hottest day of the year. It's going to be like 32, 33 degrees. It's going to be ridiculous. And he said, no. And, typical Mank, had the jumper and the parka and the boots and everything on. And, they're going to turn up to Green Day and kill it. And it was like 32 degrees. And there's no matter how much beer, you just can't hydrate yourself. So I said, oh, yeah, okay, man. You okay? Yeah, I'm all right. All right, I'll go and get some more beer. Stay where we're at. I came back, and honestly, it was like that crop circle thing I saw before. James had decided to strip off just down to the undies, just sat there smoking a fag in the middle of Green Day that was chockers with, I reckon there must have been a 25-foot clearing around him, just with everyone just moved back thinking, what's going on here? Get out of town, guys. This is no good.
Didn't James have a story about he met a girl on a plane on his way to New Zealand?
It was on the way to New Zealand. And I think it was I don't know whether she was on the plane by herself, but they were traveling back from South America, because James is, he's done more countries than you and me combined.
I know.
He has traveled a lot. And he was coming back from, South America or something, and he'd think, oh yeah, don't want to skip home just yet. I'll go to New Zealand and go and check out New Zealand for a bit. And he met this girl on the plane, and they struck up a rapport, and Jane, she said, where are you staying tonight? And he said, oh, I'm not sure. I've got nowhere. She said, come and stay with us. Me and my fiance, I think she was. It'll be fine. You can come and stay with us. And anyway, he said, oh, all right, lovely. And I think they got to Auckland, and they lived maybe 25 minutes outside of Auckland, and they drove, and he met the fiance, and they had a few beers, and it was all good. And he was on an airbed in the downstairs lounge. And then he heard the bedroom door opening. No, he stayed up having a few beers, watching New Zealand telly on a camp chair. I remember that description explicitly. He was on like a fold-out camp chair. And she came downstairs just in like the lingerie and started giving him a bit of a lap dance and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, what's going on? You feel like he's upstairs? And she said, oh, it doesn't matter. We'll be quiet. It's fine. And, started getting all a bit hot and heavy. And he said she lay down, and his description is she's laying on the floor in front of me like a fish, like this, doing it. And the fiance opened the door and saw this. The fiance said, what's going on? And James is still sitting in a camp chair in the middle of this, guys. Nothing. There's nothing going on. I'm just sat here watching telly. And the husband said, right, that's it. I've had enough of you, to the missus. You're out of here. And so are you tomorrow. He let James stay the night, but she got kicked out that night.
What? James, man, this guy, James is crazy. James is crazy. We got to get him on.
Junior, next week.
Maybe we get James on here, mate. Your fingers are going to have to be like lightning, mate. Yeah, there's no filter. Yeah.
Wow, I think that is an incredible story to end with, Leigh. I don't know about you, man.
I had forgotten about that one. I remember you told me that one in London last year. Like, any other situation, you think, oh my God, the husband might come down and kill me, bring out a gun or a knife. He's like, right in the morning. That's it.
You're out of here.
You're out of here. Enjoy the night. Good night.
You can keep the camp chair, but that's it. That's where I draw the line. You take that camp chair, you get out of here in the morning. Oh my God. Big Matt, you're a legend, man. It's like 4:00 in the morning where you are right now. Thank you so much for joining us. I think it's something like that. Fun. Is it 4:00 in the morning? Is that right?
It's nearly 3:30 in the morning.
Oh my goodness! Oh my God! It's 4:30. Incredible! I'm so happy. I had no idea what to expect, but I should have expected something like this. If you're friends with Leigh, that you could tell a great story.
Guys, it's been a pleasure, and honestly, there'll be more than 5 NBA players next time. I promise.
Oh no!
Amazing!
Fine. I just can't wait until you somehow make it over here when it's safe for everybody.
Yeah,
and we'll go to a sporting event for sure.
Perfect. And I'll come and have a backwards piss with you guys.
Fantastic. All right.
20 of us rolling into the bathroom together.
Why do you think we call everybody in the YouTube comments our stream team? It's for Leigh's backwards piss. Thank you so much to everybody for joining us tonight. We're back tomorrow with a couple shows. TAS is what you need to know early in the morning. Got the Drop podcast at 10 a.m. live on YouTube. And then on Sunday, let's not forget about Sunday night, bonus happy hour during the All-Star halftime dunk contest will be going on, and we'll be live reacting to that, and we'll stick around for the second half and have some drinks and have some laughs. So subscribe to us on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit that little notification button so you know when we are going live. Yeah, fantastic, guys. Have a great night. Have a great morning, Big Matt, and can't wait to meet you in person, man.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Matt.
Bye.